I had a conversation with someone, and he was a dad. Wasn't a mom, was a dad. And I asked him, he has 3 kids, and he had them at 3 different stages of his life. Okay. I forget the ages, but he remembers the stages that he was in when he had those kids. And I asked him, I said, do you teach all of your kids one same default way? And he was like, no, I can't, because there are 3 different expressions of me. I see 3 different parts of me in them. And he said one of his kids is very, very nice. Very, very, very nice. Very nice, and it's the youngest. And then he said the other one is very protective and very blunt. And then the other one is so in tune with the world around him and observing and getting to know himself. There's just so he has 3 different kids, and he said, I literally see myself in each one of them, and I have to even discipline in them in different ways. I see one that is a little bit more sneaky or conniving, and so I have to, address that in its own way. But the other one, I don't even have to even go in depth or so far. I can just, and then the other one, and so it amazed me, because we have to remember that not only did you have your kids in different stages of your life. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but like the oldest is always looking like the oldest of all the siblings is always like, man, you used to go upside my head whenever or you used to no when but then the other sibling come around, man, they got their phone earlier than I did, or or you was way more lenient, or you was way more, grandbabies, grandkids, man, I'm talking about we jumped on your couch, we would've, it's like, what happened? And that is because you are in different stages. No different than, for example, what I always hear, a mother's first child or dad's first child. Oh my God, it's like, oh wait, they bumped their head. Okay, is it you think of all the, by the second child or the third child, you're what? More experienced. So there's certain things that don't alarm you. It's just like, I already know what to do at this point. And so that's human. Okay. But then for some reason we treat our kids as if they can't grow or learn something over time. And we're like, well, you used to do this all the time. Why is it that like they should be growing. They should be, but to go back to what I was saying, he recognizes himself through each one of his kids. And he also remembers what stage that he was in when he had each one of those kids and what they saw from him. What part of him did they get? What part of them did they miss? Like, we got to take into consideration those things and remember, just the same way that you may have seen certain things in your life or between your parents or this, that really like kind of maybe disturbed you. It just made you stop and observe for a second, or made you feel some kind of way, happy, sad, or angry. Like, and just remember that, those triggers could come up through your life as you get older, or you could just recognize that you could have a beautiful relationship, but there's just one tone or one this or one that spouse, your partner or your spouse presents, and it's like it just flashes you back. Okay. And it's not their fault, but it's also not your fault. But you also have to be honest and be real, and also inform them on what it is that triggers certain things and why. And maybe when you release it, if they give you that warm invite, and give you that, and don't invalidate your feelings, because you'll never open up again. But if you just release that may, you just bring awareness to it. Like, okay, I'm aware, or there were, and you'll get through when these times come again. That person will understand, or you may not get as, your feathers may not get as ruffled because you know that, okay, let me, or I can apologize. I know that you didn't mean that, but I just know when you said it, it triggered this. I apologize for getting raped. This is why, it's just everything is, influenced by something. Every action has been influenced or learned or picked up or imitated. Like kids in school, I mean, if I got to sag, if that's the thing, sag. Granddad always told me keep my pants on my waist, wear a belt, but that's not accepted when I get into school. So I change. It's just not. And that's who I'm around them 8 hours a day. I'm trying to, and then it starts to become a repetition, and then boom, it's learned. And so when they bring that home, you're like, dang, if those, how parents have always said, dang, if they jump off a bridge, are you gonna jump off a bridge? Well, at this point, that's who they're taking their cues from. At this point, this is who you want them to be around their friends. They're always around their friends. It gives you some kind of space and some kind of, a breather. So, hey, I'm sending you on your way. But then when you're picking up stuff, usually if they were around you or learning more from you or more adult oriented, they would actually be taking on, But that's a different subject for a different note. But that was amazing to hear him say, and recognize that he sees himself in each one of his children, and a different, he see himself, but he remembers who he was at that time, took the time to remember who he was and addressing it in that way. Or maybe they saw that, and that's probably why they, So just think on that. Thank y'all so much for listening. But ask yourself, what do you see? What are 3 things you see, or 1 thing that you see in your child that reminds you of you, as they are a part of you? I mean, as you are a part of them. And to see what you recognize and how can you maybe address it, or what helped you get through that space that you were in your head while you acted the way that you acted. Like, what helped you or what triggered it? And then look back at your